Hi everyone, today we'll be taking a look at the War for Cybertron Kingdom line, and this is Optimus Primal, and this is sort of like a reboot of Beast Wars on the third season on the Netflix show, so I'm really excited for this. Been looking forward to this figure, and I really do like the packaging. I wish it was more like a square packaging, but I really do like the artwork. They did a really great job on it. So we can see some of the things that we may see for the third season of the show. So it's a standard packaging of the figure, so let's open it up and let's take a look at it. So here's some of the things that the figure comes with. I did notice that he does come, it appears to be like a card, so just be careful of that. I didn't even notice it at first. It looks like it's Black Arachnia. Let's see. But I think the other additional accessories that he comes with is his swords. So I think that's it for accessories. So here he is straight out of the packaging, and I think he looks great. I think he has the proportions of the Masterpiece Beast Wars figures if you have it. Fortunately, I have it in storage at the moment, so I'm not able to compare it, but I can compare it to other primal figures of the past. But I think they did a great job. Really great face sculpt. And everything looks great on him. I like they did kept the first. So that's something that I know the Masterpiece didn't keep. It was the first sculpting. So I really do like it that they kept it on this figure, and that's something that goes back also to the original primal figure. And he does come with his two swords, and they did paint the swords. Pretty much they kept the colors show accurate except for a few things, which I don't mind. I think they did a really great job. I think the feet, they're usually white. I think the chest pretty much stayed the same as it was on the show. So he does have his shoulder cannons too. And I really like that they try to keep the back keyboard, try to keep it as simple as possible. So that's great. I think that's also thanks to his humanoid form that he has in ape form. I did notice too that he's kind of short on the Voyager scale. Fortunately, I don't have any other Voyagers to compare it to. But I can compare it to, what was it? Robot Masters, Optimus Primal. As you can see, he's a little bit bigger. And he has better proportions than the Robot Master Optimus Primal. This was like the second figure of Optimus Primal that we had at the time. So if you've been keeping up with Beast Wars figures, you are familiar with this figure in the line. So this is how far Hasbro and Takara have come. So I think they're doing a really great job. And as you can see, as I mentioned before, some of the differences that the figures have, like the color of the feet, and some of the different sculpture, like the chest is kind of different, the arms. And let me compare it to the repaint of Optimus Primal, which was the original toy. So here he is standing next to the repaint of the original toy, and this toy was from the Universe line, and I think he's pretty much the same mold as the original toy. Unfortunately, I don't have the original toy here with me, but as you can see, the size different and the sculpt is different since the toy was produced before the show. So I'm grateful that we at least gotten a chance to see what Hasbro and Takara can do at the moment. I wish that some of the quality and engineering from back in the day could apply too, but unfortunately that's out of our control with inflation and everything going on. But this toy, as you can see, the back has a lot of kibble, but it had a lot of gimmicks too back in the day, and that's something that this one doesn't have. Is like the cannons. It's not a gimmick or a trigger. So it's just something that we lost over time too. It had more weapons too, like the cannons here. So it has its pros and cons. So let's take a look at some of the articulation of the figure. It does have finger articulation. They all move at once. The hand does twist and turn. Single elbow articulation, shoulder articulation, and you can turn the arm too. And it has double knee joints, but I think this is mostly for the transformation. This turns too, and it has ankle pivot. Hip articulation. You can turn the waist too. The head does move up and down. So this looks like a ball and socket. You can move the shoulder cannons too. And I don't think it has rockets, like flying rockets that I had in the show, which would have been cool for them to add it too. You can lift up the skirt, but I don't know why this is an additional piece, maybe for transformation later on in a little bit. But it has, the standard Hasbro and Takara articulations for retail figures, which is not too bad, but it doesn't have the masterpiece articulation either. But that's what they can release right now on the budget. So, and what I did like about this figure is that the joints are not loose, so they're not really stiff either. So hopefully they don't wear down over time. And I think most of them are friction joints. I didn't notice any ratchets or anything like that. And one thing too, to release the arm cannons, you push this down, push this up, so that way you can display the arm cannons too. Now let's take a quick look at the transformation. Pretty much you pull back from the head and pull it back. I know it feels like you might break it, and then pull this up and turn it. And then push this down. Oh yeah, let's not forget about the chest. So turn the chest. I guess this goes back in. Turn the head. Okay. And I think you gotta turn the hips too. Okay. And then this. Turn it 180 degrees and then down. Push the shoulders down. Shoulder pads, I should say. So now for the legs, I think it's pretty much like the standard transformation on figures. And for the feet, robot feet, push them up. Oh, I think the knees tap right here. So they tap right there. Push this up. Okay, so let's see how he looks. So this is how he looks in gorilla mode. From the top up, I think he looks great, but when you turn him to the side, it's a real mess. So luckily, this I'm not gonna have it in this mode. So I'll pretty much keep it in a robot form. And I do like that he resembles more realistic gorilla now. You are able to turn his head. Looks up and down. So this is a nice little detail that I like that they added to the figure. And I also pushed the cannons inside. I forgot that I had him out. And I think he does have an additional mode, walking mode, like he did in the show. I don't know if he's gonna do that too in the Netflix show. Let me see if I can transform him to that. So if I looked at the instructions correctly, I think what you gotta do is pull this, the knee joint, pull it forward. And place it like this. If I'm looking at the instructions right, this is supposed to be his humanoid walking form. If I did it right, I think this is what it's supposed to look like. So it still looks weird. I did like that they added this, but at the same time, I wish they would have sculpted better, like more, to allow more leg articulation. But still, I think on gorilla mode, the lower half is the part that they couldn't get right. But I did like how the top part of the body looks on the gorilla, so I think they did a really great job on that. And this is just a quick comparison to of the original gorilla version of the toy. So this is how far Hasbro and Takara has come, especially with the show, with the toys, how much they change over time. And if you see this, or if you're getting into Beast Wars or Transformers in general. I do recommend this version of Optimus Primal, especially if you can get it lower than retail. I know that Amazon recently had a sale for $23, so I'll say give it a go if you see it for that price. I think they did a really great job for the budget they had and for the price they are giving us. Thank you for watching. Let me know if you have any questions.